Okay, so today uh, we are going to go through the gradient and the blends inside the Illustrator. Now, gradients are what? They are the mixture of two or three or more than one color. Okay, like two colors, three colors, and the mix of them, like a blend between them, like a mixture between them. Like suppose this is what we are going to make today. So if you will notice here, we have a pink color which is mixed with the dark purple color. Okay, here light purple mixed with the dark purple. So uh, here you can also see in the background we have also like a sky blue turning into dark blue. So this is mainly like a different kind of like gradients. You have these mix of different colors of the gradient inside and some gradient with the opacity. Okay, so this is what we are going to work on today. Okay, in the gradients, and now and then we will also work on the blending. So if you will see that this is like shape blending, one shape is turning into a different shape, and then this different shape is turning into some other shape. So that is a shape blending also, and then we will learn how to do uh, this sort of blending, which is like a gradient blending. Okay, from this color to this color, how we can turn them into that. Okay, so this is what we are going to learn today. And after that, we will also move and we'll learn about pattern, how to create these sort of patterns inside our artwork. Okay, so I will open the first file over here, this one, and we will start with this. Now, actually what we have is like a blank uh, like window with all flat color options. Okay, few of them are with the gradients, but we don't have to uh, worry about that. Those are just with the samples, but most of them are flat and we have to convert them into gradient color the way I showed you over here. Something like this we are going to convert from here. Okay, now let's first see how a gradient tool looks like. So to see how the gradient tool looks like, you have to go to the window, and then here you will have some option for the gradient. Here it is. If you click on it, you will get the gradient tool here. Okay, now in the gradient we have different sort of gradients here. uh, Here we have three different type of gradient. Linear gradient, which means a color that is changing uh, from left to right or top to bottom, and in a straight line. Okay, or diagonal, but it will be always in a straight line, horizontal, vertical, or diagonal. Next, we have here radial gradient, which is in a circular form, like going in a spiral or circle. Then we have free form. Free form can be any shape. The gradient can be a radial, that can be linear, that can be scattered. So any sort of like gradient is inside the free form gradient. Okay. Now let's see about this box. What do we have inside this box? Okay. So here you will notice that we have a couple of different options here, but I will tell you the important one here. First, here is the gradient uh, type. Okay, which sort of gradient you want, or which like kind of gradient color you want. So there are already pre-made here. We can choose from the pre-made one, and then we can change accordingly. Okay, usually we take the black and white and we change it according to our our need, our desire, and then we could continue. Then we have here uh, which where we are applying the gradient. Are we applying the gradient on the fill color, or are we like going to apply the color on the stroke? Then we have reverse gradient. Now here you will see that we have white and black. Okay, if I will press reverse, so black will move here and white will move here to reverse your colors. Okay, so this is for the reverse part. Okay, now here we have a gradient slider. Okay, uh, if I click over here, you will notice that I have here uh, the like slider, which is like basically this part. Okay, uh, where we have the white color and the black color. Then we have color stops. These are stops. How many stops I have right now? Two, white and black. Okay. And then we have here something which we call gradient midpoint, which is this part. Okay. Because what it do is that it calculates the mid-range of your color. It can be moved here, so you can see that now the mid-range is here. So more black will be shown. You can see like this, like the result how it will be, and less white will be shown. If I will move it here, so it will be opposite. Okay, and if I want it to be in the middle, so what I can do, I can just type here 50 in the location of this midpoint, so it will be exactly in the center, 50%. Okay. Apart from that, we have here as I told you, gradient types. Okay, and we have here gradient for the fill, gradient for the stroke. Okay, so here are the fill types, here are the stroke types. Okay, so what are the stroke types? It's like basically up to you, like if you want the gradient within the stroke, okay, along the stroke, where, like wherever the stroke is going, the shape of the stroke, or across the stroke, like uh, it is like linear gradient across the stroke. Okay, and then there is one more tool which will appear if we are editing, that is called edit gradient. Right now it's not appearing because we don't have selected any object. Otherwise, when you will select any object, there will be one more button appearing that is called edit gradient, which will help you to edit, and we will go through that soon. Okay, now apart from that, we have here gradient angle. Suppose if you're using a linear gradient, which is from left to right. Okay, so I want to change its angle. Like I don't want it to be straight from left to right. I don't want it to be 0 degrees. I want it to be 60 degrees, like diagonal. So I can change that from here. So it will be not left to right as a flat you can say angle. It will be slightly diagonal. Okay, so here you can change the angle over here. Okay, now this is basically aspect ratio of your like gradient. Like you want the gradient to be flatter or uniform or stretchy, so here you can like define that. Okay, and then here we will go basically, if you want to delete any one of these spots, we can select and press this delete button. But right now I cannot delete it because I have 2 and 2 is the default. So if I will add one more, like suppose how to add, you have to just click anywhere you want and you will have that a second one. Okay, you can change the color of it, but if you don't want, you can select it, press the delete button, it will be gone. But these are by default and you cannot delete them, so they will be staying over there without deletion. Okay, now any one of these color can its opacity can be changed. Like if I can select the black color, I can change its opacity. So black color's opacity will change, so it will be not 100% black, it will be a little bit transparent if I will change the opacity. So I can change the opacity of any of these color. Okay, now this is the location of the color or the midpoints. Okay, so if I will click here and change the location, so it will move accordingly. If I will put 100%, so it will move extremely on the right side. If I will select this one, this is 0%, which means extremely on the left side. If I will select this one, so this is 50%, that means it is in the middle. Okay, 0, 50, 100. Okay, so it goes like this. So this is how you have your all the settings of the gradient. And the how you can get the gradient value, either you can go to window, then gradient, or here you have the gradient option. So you can click on it and you will see gradient. Click on these 3 dots, you will get these options, or you can also double click this one, so you will get this. So there are different number of ways to get the like gradient options over here. Okay, now let's start applying the gradient. Let's apply like a most simplest form of gradient, which is known as the linear gradient fill. Okay, so from where we get this, we can get this one. As I told you before, you have to select first the item on which you want to apply the gradient. So I want the gradient to be applied on this. Right now this is yellow color. If I select it, you will notice that there is a yellow color applied here. But I don't want this to be a yellow color. I want this to be a gradient color. So what I can do over here is that if I will click here, double click it, I cannot do anything about it right now because you can see the fill is solid. Okay. So the gradient is not applied yet. But if I will select linear gradient, okay, first let me activate this fill. Otherwise, it will apply on stroke if your fill is not selected. So you have to choose any one of these two. I want to apply on fill. So I will select the fill. Then I will choose the linear gradient. As soon I will apply the linear gradient, then it will be activated on my scene. Okay. Now, once it is activated, I can change these colors. Okay. First of all, I don't want this to be a black color. Maybe I want this to be a something like this, like sort of a color, but a little bit darker. So what I can do, I can go here. Okay. Double click this one. Once I will double click it, it will show me the range of color. So I can choose the color from these swatches. Like suppose this color if I want to choose. Okay. Or I can go to color option here. Okay. And then I can go to this option small like button here for the menu, choose CMYK, and here I can type my own value also. This is also I can do. Maybe I want the cyan to be a little bit one value, then I want this to be 97. Okay, and maybe this one can be 21, and this and then this one, the last one, I will keep it 0. So maybe this sort of color I can keep it. So this is another way of applying a color to your stops. This one, for now, let's keep it white. Okay, or I think it's better to change it to black. We will have more contrast then. So I will double click here. Okay, now I don't have to go to swatches because by default I'm over here in the color because it will show you where you were in last. Last I was in the color, so that's why it's showing me the color. Okay, now I can just simply click on black. It will convert that into black color. Okay, or if you're not there, if you're here, so you can still select the black here. Okay, and it will give you much more higher a nice looking black because this is the CMYK black. This is, I think this is also CMYK, but it is not like that. I think that like the one which showed me before was this RGB, but this is CMYK, so it's showing me much more richer result. Okay, so that's what I have here. Now what I can do here is that I don't want this color to be what I chose. Maybe I want this to be dark purple. I can go over here, choose any color here, maybe this, or keep this one. This one, let me make it dark purple instead of black. Okay, I will double click it here, go, and here is the dark purple. I will click this one. Okay, because black, if I will choose, you can see that it's kind of dull. It looks washed out a little bit. So I think dark purple will give me a nice blend between this color and this color. So I will choose dark purple here. Now, I like this gradient and maybe I want to apply this gradient to any one of my options over here, like any one of my other objects over here. So how I can save this? I can simply go on this option here. I will see all these gradients that were saved before. Here is the save button. If I will add to swatches, it will add it over here and it will save it. So once I will do that, you will notice that there is a new gradient here. And then if you want to rename it, you can go to your swatches basically. Okay, like here. And here you have it. Double click this one. And I can write here any name, whatever I want. Okay. So maybe I will write here jelly 1. Now my jelly 1 is saved over here. So if I will roll over here, so here it is. Okay. So this is how you can save your own gradients and everything here. Okay. So suppose if I'm here and I only want to see gradient color. So what I can do over here is that I can go to the swatches type. and choose and show gradient swatches. So it will only show me whatever gradient I have in my scene. And if I will go back here and choose all swatches, it will show me everything here. So this is how you can switch back and forth if you want to only see your gradient here. Now, as I told you before, let me close this. Okay, take this one. I told you that there is also an option which is called edit gradient, but you cannot see unless or until you apply a gradient. So now you can see if I will select this shape where my gradient is applied, so you can see this new option here called edit gradient. So if I click on it, now I can edit the gradient. Okay, now how I can edit it? So basically you will see that this is the same thing you see over here. Okay, the same thing that you see here is now applied here. I can change the color, I can move the stop colors, I can add the stop color, I can delete the stop color. Okay, these are the stops. This is the mid value is over here as well. I can add as many mid values I want. I can add as many stop colors I want. I can reshape them, I can move them around. So I can do so many things over here now with this help, with the help of this like gradient option. Another thing what I can do is that right now it is from left to right. I don't want this to be left to right. I want this to be from bottom to top. So if you will notice, if I will go to this part of my shape, make sure the shape is selected. You can see the gradient value, everything. If I will go to the bottom, I can see this sort of a cursor which is like a crosshair. So if I will press here and drag it up with the shift key, so so the line is straight, you will see that now it is changing the left to right from bottom to top. So I will go a little bit here on the top, okay, and leave my mouse over there. Now once I will do this, you can see that it is not left to right anymore, it has become top to bottom. Okay, so this is how you can change it. And if I want to edit, I can simply again click it here. What if I don't want it to be like straight? I want it to be a little bit slightly slanted. So I can go to either edge and you will see there is a rotation button, sorry, rotation cursor. So if I click here with this rotation cursor appearing, I can easily move it diagonally and leave wherever I want. So this is how I can change its like direction as well. Okay, so maybe I can make it straight, or maybe I can make it a little bit like you can say diagonal, something like that. Okay, so this is how you can easily change it, and you can change the color. Okay, like suppose double click here, change the color the way you want it from any part. Like suppose I can choose CMYK or whatever I want. Okay, so I can do any sort of thing here with this with the help of these. Okay, now this was fill, so we applied the fill gradient. Okay, what if I want to apply, okay, the gradient to a stroke? Okay, this was fill. Now let's see if we have a stroke. So I have here this sort of a stroke. If I click over here, it's a stroke. You can see that this is a width profile applied to this stroke, and this is like a, you can see the color of the current stroke over here. Now to apply a gradient on the stroke, what I have to do here is that simple, same thing I will do here. First of all, I will make sure the stroke is activated here. Okay, so it will come in the front, and then I will click on my gradient, double click it here. Okay, make sure this is applied here, this stroke. Okay, then I will choose which sort of stroke I want to apply over it. Okay, now to apply over it, I want this linear stroke. So as soon as I will click it, you will notice that the stroke that was selected last, like this one which we created last, is now applied over here. So whatever last option is selected will be applied on your stroke. Okay, so later on you can change if you want. Now I have the stroke that is selected applied with the apply gradient within a stroke. So the stroke is within. Okay, so if I will show you around here, you can see that it is within this stroke shape. The next option is apply gradient along the stroke. Now wherever the stroke shape is going, it is following the shape of the stroke. So this is the along the stroke. Now this is across. If I press it, it will be something like like a radial, like starting from here going back to this part. So you can see that it's a radial sort of like a sorry, a linear sort of a gradient. It's a linear, not radial. Sorry. Okay. Now I can do whatever I want. Maybe I can choose any sort of a uh, color, or any, or like beginning color, end color, or even I can add a mid value of a color here, maybe somewhere over here. Okay, and you can notice a new color value is added here. Maybe I can change this one to pink. Okay, so I can double click here, go to swatches and see where is the pink. So here is my pink color. I can click on it and you will see that it has become pink. Okay, so this is how I can add it here, and I can do so many other things here. Uh, Also, what I can do here is that I can uh, make sure this is in, to make sure this is in the center, you have to check the location. It has to be 50%. So now it is 50% over here. Okay, and then what I can do here is that I don't want this one. I can select this, delete. However, I want the same as this one to be applied over here. So what I can do over here is that I can press Alt key on my keyboard, click on this color and move it here. So it will duplicate this color and put it here. Now you can see that it is purple, pink, dark purple, dark purple, pink, dark purple. The way I added here, it is added over here, and it is following the shape. Okay, so wherever there is a tighter space, so you will see the blend is tighter. Wherever there is a loose space, so the blend is loose. So it follows the shape of your gradient. So that's a good thing about applying the gradient. Okay, and like these sort of things here. Okay, and what if I don't want this to be the dark color? So maybe I can type it over, like I can choose, and I can take a light pink color. So maybe this one will be better. It will show me, uh, a light is falling over here. So when the light falls, that area is a little bit brighter, and then the area which is not in front of the light becomes a little darker. Okay, so this shows me that sort of a you can say like an illusion over here. Okay, now we applied a linear gradient to our stroke, and linear gradient to our fill. Both of them were the linear gradient. What if I want to apply a gradient, okay, on the background, but this time I don't want to choose a linear gradient. I want to choose a radial gradient. Okay, so I will select my background here. Okay, and what I can do here is that I can double click here to go back to my gradient type here. Now this time I will not choose the linear gradient. This time I will choose the radial gradient. So if I will choose, okay, so you will see that. Let me first select this one. Click it here. I think the better is to select first black and white. Okay, and let me, okay, oh, okay, one more thing. This was selected, so this should be transparent, the stroke. You have to make sure your fill is selected, otherwise it will not apply. Then I will choose the black and white, make sure black and white selected. Then you have to choose the radial gradient, and then you will have the radial gradient. So always make sure that wherever you are applying, like I was about to apply on the fill, so I should have selected the fill in the beginning, but it wasn't selected. So the stroke was selected, so it was applying on the stroke. So what I had to do was that to apply none from here to the stroke, then I selected my fill, and then I had applied again the gradient over it. Okay, but I chose the black and white, which is the default value, and then I've applied the radial. Okay, now as you see, you can see now the gradient, edit gradient is there because I have already applied to it. Now, I don't want the black to be outside and white to be inside. So black is outside, white is inside. I want opposite. So this tool I told you before is to reverse your gradient. Okay, so if I click over here, now you can see the black is now inside and white is outside. This is actually what I wanted, so I can easily change the values of the color here. Okay, now if I go here, okay, and I can choose any other color I want. Basically I can double click it here, and I want light blue. Let's see, where is the light blue? Here is the light blue. I can select this light blue. I have it. I have the light blue now. Now this one, the next to it, which is basically white, I don't want this to be a white color. Okay, I want uh, like a particular color over here, okay, which is like a bluish color, but at a particular spot. And from here, I cannot guess where is that spot. So what I have to do, I have to press Edit Gradient here, okay. Once I will get this, now I know where I have to add that spot. So I want to add that spot over here somewhere. So here it will be blue, and then here it will change. So I can go over here and click, and it will add a new stop color. So it will help you to create exactly where you want the color. So working with the edit gradient on the artwork itself is quite helpful instead of here, because here I cannot guess where I want my stop color. Okay, but adding here, you can actually know where you want it to be. So this one, I will change it to, double click here, I will change it to blue color, which is this like sort of a color here. So now I have added here. Now maybe I don't want this location, maybe slightly I can move it around, or I can change the location easily from here as well. I can type here 45, for example, and it will move to the 45. Okay, now this one is the last one. Maybe this one I want a little darker color, so I can double click this, and this time I will choose this color, dark blue. So it will be a darker blue color. Okay, now you can adjust a linear or radial gradient as you want. Linear, I already told you how you can change them. Okay, like when we were working on this jellyfish, the bottom part here is like the legs. But what if I want to work on my uh, radial gradient? So you will see a radial sort of like a boundary over here. This boundary can reshape your gradient. Okay, but I don't want to reshape it. I want it to be in a perfect circle. I will keep it as it is. So if I want to change, I can change it in this form, so it will not get stretched or squeezed. Otherwise, if you will click here on the top, so it can be stretched or it can be squeezed. It's up to you. But for the perfect circle, you can do that here. Now this is not a free form circle. If it is a free form circle, then you can also rotate, but rotation here might not show you the result because it's all circle. But if it is a free form or different sort of a gradient, then maybe it will show you the actual result here. Now one thing that I can do here is that I can change its position. Okay, to change the position, I have to go somewhere in the middle, okay, until I see this black arrow. This black arrow means I can now move. Okay, if this black arrow is not appearing, so maybe I will be adding some of these which I don't want. So make sure it's not a crosshair, because crosshair means to reposition or redraw it, okay, which you don't want actually. Okay, so let me select it back here. Okay, and also the best thing to do is that just go around until you see this black arrow. Once you see the black arrow, that means you can move it around. I don't want this to be in the middle. I want it to be somewhere here. And once it is there, I can go somewhere here. Okay, rotate this a bit so I can get this scaling option on this side. So I can scale it somewhere here. Okay, maybe not too much. Okay, so this is another advantage of rotation. Okay, so you can rotate your gradient so you can get your like, the spots that you're looking for basically. Okay. Now, what else I can do over here is that I can change this aspect ratio to maybe 80. So it will make it a little bit like, narrow it down. So it will have, I will have some sort of a light falling effect here. Okay. Now, uh, we applied on the fill, we applied on the stroke, we applied on the background. These all were individual objects, single object. What if you want to apply a gradient effect on multiple objects at the same time? To do that, you have to select all those multiple objects that you want. Like suppose all these seaweeds, I want to select them and then apply the color over these. So if I will do that, it will save my time, okay, and it will give me quite a good result. So what I want here is that, let me go back here, choose my black and white here, okay, and I have this like a black and white radial fill here, okay, and if I will click on my gradient to adjust, you will notice that they are applied like uh, like individually they are applied on each one of these individual pieces, which actually is okay, but I don't want that. I don't want them to be applied individually on these individual items. I want a one single gradient on all of it. So what I can do here is that I can redraw the gradient, and that will help me to convert all these single gradient pieces into one gradient. How I can do that? First, I have to choose from where to where. I want something diagonal, starting from this point to this point. So I can click here and then drag and end here. Now this will help me to create a one single, uh, you can say direction. Okay. Now once it is done, I can choose any sort of a, you can say color here. Okay. Maybe I can double click here and I can choose a pink color. Okay. Here maybe I will choose a purple color. Okay. Or purple, yeah. Okay. So that's all. Okay. So easily I was able to do that. Now you can also change the opacity of your object or your fill. Now this is 100% visible, but I don't want that because it is underwater. So I want it to have little bit underwater feeling. So what I can do is that if I will go in the opacity here on your right side, you can change the opacity to it. Maybe I don't want it to be 100%, I want it to be 30%. And if I will type it 30% and press enter, okay, so you will see that it is applying the change, but it is applying on single object. So what you have to do is that you have to press escape on your keyboard, ESC. So what does the ESC will do? It will help you to go out of individual mode and bring you to it will exit you from the isolation mode. Let's see if it did that. Otherwise I have to deselect it again. Now it's fine. Okay, so now you can see that everything is it is applied on the whole thing. So escape basically, usually what happens when you apply, when I was dragging this from this point to this point, so when I finish my drag, it automatically selected the last shade and deselected the others. Okay, so when I was applying 30%, what it was doing, it was only applying on the last selected object. So when I press escape, so what it did, did that, it deselected, okay, a single object, and then it reselected all of them together. So that's what the escape tool do. Okay, it's like escape key do on your in your what you call the Illustrator. Sorry. Okay. Now this opacity which I applied is on the gradient of the pink color and gradient of the purple. So both of them have now 30%. What if I don't want any one of it to be with a less opacity. I want maybe this one to be 100%, this one to be 0% or 30%. Okay, so that also we can do. So let's do that, but on a different object. So I will select this one. Okay, and I'll apply like a gradient over here. I will choose black and white. Okay, and it will apply a radial gradient, sorry, a linear gradient over here. But I don't want it to be left to right. I want it from top to bottom. So what I can do here is that I can edit the gradient. Then I want to create from here to here something like this. Okay, and once I'm done, so I will apply the colors now. Okay, so the first thing is that I will take this maybe this one. Okay, and what I will do here is that I will choose a light blue color here. Okay, and or this one for now I will keep it white. This one I will change it to light blue. Okay, and you can see the opacity. How much is the opacity here? 100%. Okay, I can change its opacity to maybe 70%. So I can type here 70, press enter, and you can see that it's getting now a little bit transparent. But if you want it to be more transparent, you can go in the opacity, change it to 0, so it will be completely transparent. Okay, so this is what you can also do. This one, maybe I don't like it as to be a white color. Maybe I will change it to sky blue as well, light blue as well. But this light blue is same as this light blue, but this is 100% opacity and this is 0% opacity, and you can see the difference. The one with the 100% opacity looks like this, and one with the 0% opacity looks like this. Okay, so this is you can add your opacity to any one of these colors. Okay, now we have applied the linear gradient with and without opacity. We have applied radial gradient and we changed that. Now let's apply the third type, which is the freeform gradient. Now let's select this one. Okay, and choose black and white here and choose this freeform gradient. Okay, so as soon as I will do that, what it will do is that it will automatically generate some color depending on my surrounding. Okay, automatically it will take my surrounding, and keeping that in mind, it will generate the colors out of it. Okay, which you can change later on. Now once I have applied here, what I can do here is that these are the spots. These can be added, these can be deleted. So if I will move them around, okay, so you can see that it is changing the color basically. Okay, and the positions or everything. Or what I can do is that I can change the shape of this. So here what I will do here is that I will change the colors, okay, to actually what I want here. Okay, now first of all, this one, let me put it somewhere here. Okay, and I will change this one, double click here. I will change this one to maybe this pink color. Okay, then I will take this one, change this one. Okay, oops, sorry. And change this one to same pink color. Okay, but you will notice that there is a line between that which I actually don't want. So what I can do, I can take this one, delete this, stop, and add one more here. Okay, because I don't want this to be green, because if you will see, what I did was the mistake when I was selecting this. So I double clicked it just like this. So when I double clicked it, so what happened, it connected these two. You can see there is a line being creating, so it is like connecting this. So actually I'm in the lines mode. I don't have to be in the lines mode, I have to be in the points mode. So now I will not have that issue. So make sure you are in the points mode, not in the lines mode. Now I can easily change them. So here I will double click it. Okay. Add this pink here. Okay. Now I will take this one, move it somewhere here, and double click this one, and I will add maybe a darker color here. Maybe this one, darkest blue. And also you can change the size of this. If you click on any one of these points, you will see the size. Okay, you can move them, you can change the size just by increasing it, just like this. Okay, so it's a quite good. This is the maximum size I can increase, but you can change that. Okay, apart from that, I have this one. Maybe I can move it here, double click it, and here I will choose this yellow color, maybe. Okay, so I can put it here somewhere. These, okay, and this one maybe I can make it a little smaller. And this one maybe I can change to something else. Maybe a different sort of a color here. Okay, let's do one thing with this one. Okay, let's move this one here and change its color to purplish, like maybe this purple. Yeah, okay, so this purple, and I want a line just like this. So I have to go in the lines mode, and what I will do here is that I will add one more. I will click here and I will click here as well. Okay, or maybe here and then over here, because you can see whenever I'm moving, it's making a curved line. So it will make a curved, you can say, now I can press enter on my keyboard or escape, so it will be out of this. Okay, now I can go back to my points mode, and you will notice that it made a line, curved line, and the gradient is following that curved line. Okay, so this is one way of doing this, like sort of a like a color. So you can see that freeform is very interesting. You can create different sort of gradient based fill inside using that. Okay, now there is one more option here. We are done with the gradients now. So this is the three types of the gradient. You can see here we have the linear, we work on the radial, we work on the freeform. Now we will move to blending objects. Now what is the blending objects? Blending objects, how it works. Suppose I have here a square. Okay, let me give it a solid color. Okay, and I can make another shape here, or maybe a small rectangle. Okay, so a big rectangle, small rectangle. Now I have an option here which is called blending. How it works? This is the blending tool. So if I click here, click on my first object, and then click on my last object. So it will start blending from bigger square to the smaller square, and I can change the way it is. I can double click it here. I can choose any one of this orientation if it is on path. Right now it is not on the path, and I can choose specified steps. Suppose right now it is 5, maybe I can make it 2 or 3. Press tab, so you will see there are 3 steps. Okay, or I can make specified distance, so I can choose how much distance I want. Maybe I want 0.5 distance. Okay, or maybe I want 10. Okay, so according to that it will make it. But if I will keep it smooth color or specified distance, it can be converted as a shape. It will look like as a shape of something. Okay, so this is one way of doing it. Another way of doing is that, let me undo this, delete this one. Okay, now instead of a square, let's make a different shape. Let's make a star. Okay, now what happens if I will do the blending? If I will take the blending tool, click here, then click here, you can see that that square is morphing into a star. Okay, so I can use specified steps. Let's see other steps like 5 and see how they will be doing, so you can see that. Or if I will go to specified distance, so you can see how a square is turning into a like a star, and all you can see without any sort of gaps here. Okay, so this is how your blending mode works. Okay, and blending mode actually creates paths. Okay, for example, if I click here, okay, and then if I click this one here, and if I go to the blending mode, click this one, so it will be a straight line, but there is a path between here which if I will go to the view outline, I can see this path. Okay, so what I can do here is that I can take my anchor point tool from here, click on this path and make this path, reshape it to whatever I want. If I will now go back to my GPU preview, you can see now it is not straight, it is following the path. Now here I can double click it and I can choose this, and you can see that it is orienting on the path direction. This one will keep them straight. Okay, it will be straightly moving that, and this one will orient to the path, like it will be falling along the path. So these kind of things you can do here, and if I will choose this, so you can see that how the result is. Basically I can add or more steps I can give, so whatever changes you want. So I'll delete this one. So let's do similar option here on this. Okay, so I will go here, and what I will do here is that I will uh, make a small circle here. Okay, so I will go to layers, and there is an option layer here called blends, which is hidden. So I will go to the blend layer and I will select this. Okay, deselect everything here. Just go to blend layer. Now here I have one circle, second circle, third circle. I want to create like a blend between this, but not like a straight line like the one that I showed you before, like a path. So what I will do here at this stage is that I will take my blend tool, click on this first one, then this one, and then this one. Okay, I'm done. Now if I double click it over here, this is smooth color option. I don't want smooth color, I want specified steps. This is 89, so 89 here, 89 here, which is too much. So I don't want 89, I want it to be around 10 only. So 10, press tab. Okay, and you will see 10 over here, 10 over here, which is quite fine. Okay, now I will press OK. But I don't want them to be in a straight line, I want them to be in a curved line. So I can go to the view outline, take my anchor point tool and reshape them so they will be in some sort of a nice looking shape. Okay, so according to the way you want this, you can shape it around. Now I can go back to my GP preview and you can see that now a nice sort of you can see the spot is there. Okay, so this is how you can change your like outlines. I think this is too blendy, so maybe I can make it slightly less. Okay, now I think it's better. Okay, so this is how you can apply blends, and it works like this. Now this is I reapplied the blend on the shape, circular shape, star shape, square shape, which is the one I showed you. What if I want to apply blending not on the shape itself but on the color? Okay, we can also apply the blending between the color as well. Okay, so if I will go here, I can see there are two strokes. Okay, now at this stage I want to apply blending. Now at what will happen here, it's not only like that there will be, first of all, the blending will be between two shapes obviously, but they both are different colors. So the blending will be not only on shapes, it will be also on color. For example, if I have here this star, okay, let me change this color, and then I will add one more star here. So here I will change the color to something else, maybe green. Now let me do one thing here. Let me go double click the star here, or instead of star here, let me make a star, but I will click one time here so I can add 7 points, so it will look little different. Now both are different shapes, both are different colors. Okay, so if I will click blending mode, click here and click here, so you will notice not only the shape is blending, also the color is blending. Okay, so that's one thing here. So same situation is here, both are different shapes. Okay, basically they are strokes, but blending can work on the shape, blending can work on the strokes as well. So here what I will do, I will take my blending tool, click on this first blending, first stroke, then second stroke, and then you can see how nicely it is blending together. Very nice sort of smooth color applied. Okay, so you might have seen some sort of these sort of like designs. Okay, and this creates very nice looking effect. Okay, so this is what how you can apply between two different strokes or shapes and with different colors. So your color will be also blend. So I can select both of them and I will move them here inside. Okay, and what else I can do here is that I can take this one, move it in front of this, and right click over here, arrange and bring to front. So it will create something sort of this. So you can see that how opacity is affecting this. It looks like a glass. Okay, it doesn't look like, you know, solid. It looks kind of transparency is there, and like a little bit opaque feeling, a glassy feeling it's giving it to it. Okay, so this is how you can apply this. Now I have some extra work here, some text, I can turn it on, and some extra items here, I can turn it on, and then you can see how the gradient helped us to create something really nice over here. Okay, now all of these are what? These are just strokes with different sort of gradients. Okay, a bit of time you can spend here to create these kind of strokes and apply gradients. That's all. Okay, so this is how you can get a very nice work with the help of the gradient. Is everything clear? Do you have any question regarding the gradient? Okay, either it can be a question about the gradient or it can be about the blending. Everything is clear? Anyone who have question? All clear? Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So now let's move to the last part here, which is basically about how to create pattern inside your uh, you can say inside your Illustrator. Now this is what we are going to do. Okay, and let me open this file here, empty file without the pattern. Now you can see that I have this file here without the pattern. Okay, now I have two like cake you can say steps, two floors of the cake, the first and the second one, the bottom, the ground, and the top. Okay, now I want to apply a pattern over here, but at the same time I don't want to lose this fill color. Okay, because if I will go simply over here, I can easily apply a pattern. Like suppose if I will go to the fill color here, And if I will choose the pattern from here, I have one pattern here, or this one, or any one of this, and if I apply, it will apply a pattern. But once it will apply the pattern, I will lose the color that was there. Okay, and I cannot adjust it as well. So what I have to do here is that I have to simple do one thing here is I have one option here which is called the appearance. Okay, so if I will, let me undo this here. If I will go to this option in the appearance, I will have more appearance options. Okay, now here is the fill color. If I hide and unhide, you can see that fill color is hiding and unhiding. That means this is my fill color, which is some sort of a like light, very light brownish color. Okay, so over this color I will add another fill. Okay, from here, add new fill. If I press add new fill, it will add a new fill over there. Okay, so I have the same two different kind of fill. Now this one will be a fill which is this basically the base fill of my cake floor, but this fill I can apply any sort of you can say pattern. Okay, but when I will apply over it, it will be not, or it will not replace my fill, because my fill is already here. It has replaced the secondary fill, which it's okay, it doesn't matter as long I have the base fill. Now here I can click on the opacity, and I don't want this to be 100% visible. I just want it to be 10% visible, and I will type here opacity 10%, press enter, and you will see it will become lighter. Same time, I can see the background color because the opacity is low and there is some gaps here, and I can see the pattern as well. So this is a very nice way of applying a pattern through the appearance. So you can have your own color as well, and you can add secondary patterns here. Now, how to get the pattern? They are available online. There are a lot of patterns inside your Illustrator as well. Like suppose if I will go here, make a new fill just to show you around. I will delete this one later. If I will go here, okay, I have these options here. Okay, these are patterns, and I have different kind of patterns here. Okay, so I can choose any kind of patterns here, maybe natural animal skin. So I will have these sort of patterns here, which I can change to whatever I want. Okay, let me change the opacity. Okay, it is there already. Okay, I have to select this one, then I have to apply here. Now I can choose any one of these, and it will be applied over there, like peacock, cheetah, tiger, whatever, zebra. Okay, but I don't want this, I will delete. So this is how you can get some extra one. But what if you want to create your own? You can create your own pattern as well. To create your own pattern, you just have to think about how you want your pattern to be. Maybe I want my pattern to be something like this. Okay, now to see how my pattern looks like, so what I can do is that I can select this. Okay, this is what I created. Now I can go to object. Okay, now inside the object I can go to the pattern, and I will press here make. What it will do is that it will turn this into a pattern. Okay, and it will show me how it will look like. So this is how it will look like. Now the good thing about that, I'm inside a new pattern mode. So whatever I will do changes, it will apply over here, and it will adjust my pattern accordingly. Suppose you will notice that these circles are only here. I want this circle to be here as well. Okay, or here, or here, or here. So what I can do, I can take this one, press Alt and Control and Shift, okay, so that it can make a copy it. With the Alt key, Shift, it will move it straight, okay, and Control, it will it will follow the path or something like that. Now I just clicked and drag it, and I placed it over here somewhere. and you can notice that I have my pattern somewhere here as well. Okay, so I can select this, press my arrow key to move it up or down or whatever I want. Another way I can do here is that simple, press Alt key and move it simply over here without doing anything. That's one way over here to do this. Okay, and I can have these circles here. Now I can make this bigger or smaller, and accordingly all of them will be changed. I can right click here, arrange, bring to front, so so it can be in front of the others. Okay, it's already in front, so I don't have to worry about this. Okay, now this is what you can do to create. Okay, and you have different sort of the colors. Let me do one thing. Let me delete this one so that we can first see more details here. Then we can like create. Now here I have new pattern. I can write here any name. Okay, I can write here cake top. Okay, and what kind of pattern I want. I have different sort of pattern. Let me zoom out so you can see clearly. I have grid. I have brick by row. It will look like this. Okay, and I have brick by row offsets. So I have different sort of offsets here. So I can change accordingly. Okay, then I have here brick by column. I have here hex by column. I have here hex by row. So these are different ways, but the one I want is the grid. Okay, so I will keep it as grid. Okay, and I'll have here copies. I can have 1 by 1 copy. I can have here 5 by 5 copy. I can have 3 by 3 copy. So different ways, but I am more fond of this one. Now overlaps, how I want the overlap. Do I want overlap to be like this or like this? Okay, so you can choose any sort of overlapping here. Okay, now what I will do here is that let me do one thing. Let me make this 1. Okay, now I will move this one and I will press Alt and Shift so that it will move in a straight line. I don't press Control, so Control won't do anything. And I will move it somewhere here. Let me select it. Okay, Alt and Shift, and then I can move it somewhere here. Okay, and now once I'm done, now I can turn on my 5 by 5 copy so I can see the result over here. Okay, but it didn't make inside. Yeah, now it's fine. So here it should be. Now you can clearly see how it will look like here. Okay, and I think I'm a bit outside, that's why it's overlapping. It should be a little bit inside, like here. No, it will not look that way. Or move it here. Okay, that's fine. And what I can do here is that I can choose size to tile artwork. Okay, and uncheck this one, move tile with artwork, or I can keep it both. What it will do is that wherever I'm moving, the artwork will move accordingly. So this will help me it will help me to keep everything uh, you know uniform, and it will not overlap. Without this option, my artwork will look overlap like it was happening before. The cross were appearing on the top of this. So this will help me to do this. Now I'm done, so I will press done over here. Okay, now this is saved already and you can see that it's here. Okay, now I can go to my cake top here, add a new fill. Okay, and I will keep this on top of the fill, not on the top of the stroke, otherwise it will hide the stroke. But there is no stroke right now, so it doesn't matter. But if you have stroke, it will hide the stroke if it is on top of the stroke. I will click here, choose this, and you will notice that it is there. Now if you want, you can still change this. Okay, suppose if I double click on the cake top, it will take me directly here. Maybe I don't want this color, I want some different color, so I can click over here, or I can go inside my color palette here, okay, and choose maybe a brown color, and this one also I will change it, okay. So I want something this sort of color. Now I will press done here, and if I will go, so automatically it will change it here, okay. So this is changed, and you can see that how I have easily applied it. And one more thing I can do over here is that I can change its like suppose uh, if it looks like it is too like kind of a bigger, okay, so I want it to be a smaller pattern, so I can select my pattern, I can go to object, I can go to transform, okay, and I can go to scale, okay. Oops, I have to do one thing. You have to double click here, so you, sorry, not that. Uh, okay, so by mistake I did that. I don't. I was like I have to work on my uh, like what you call the shape. Okay, the pattern. So I have to double click the pattern. Okay, once I'm in the pattern, so here what I have to do, uncheck this. Okay, now select this one, object, transform, okay, scale, and then 50, okay, 50% I will do, fine. And now I can go back here, 5 by 5, and now I can press done, and if you will go out, so you can see it will become smaller. So this is how you can change the size of your pattern as well, okay. So this is how you will work on your gradients, your blends, and your patterns. So everything is clear. Anyone who have question regarding this? Is everything fine? Okay. So this is how you work usually on your gradients and your blends and your uh, like your patterns, and you can have very nice result. If you're still working on your logos, you can apply this on your logos as well. I will extend your 2 days logo submission date, okay, so you can have some extra time to finish it, okay. And yeah, that's it.